With tariffs threatening the world's economy, the I Am Fired Up show being off the air for God knows how long, I don't have a third one.
Well,
And me not having a third one and doing an emergency episode, it's been a pretty easy month to get fired up. We're here to discuss the state of the nation this time. And so I don't really understand what the fuck these tariffs are. So we're going to go over to our political correspondent, Adam Maskey, who's going to describe. Adam, what's going on in the country and what's the purpose of these tariffs?
I don't even know what a tariff is. Okay, I just looked on my phone. What's a tariff? I read it. I couldn't understand it. So I said, what's a tariff for dummies? Turns out that's a book. And you had to purchase it on Amazon. We've already established I'm not paying for anything. So I found an elementary level website to explain what a tariff is.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I'm still uncertain.
Yeah.
I think it's a tax. It's a tax towards imported goods and services.
But the people that import it pay it, right?
The people
if
who
we've all
import
watched,
it
like,
pay
kind
it.
of the
This
same
is to
shit.
promote domestic business. So in our case, it's to promote more purchasing through American businesses.
Well, I get that, but so at the same time, like, what's the end game? Like,
I mean, I can't speak on behalf of our country, but this elementary level explanation of what a tariff is, I think it's the end game is to make people use them, in our situation, American companies. Instead of buying things on Amazon that are made in China, mass produced, they want us to buy American made stuff, which, I mean, in theory, doesn't that mean that there's more American labor happening and, you know, people are buying American products?
I understand that. But what about the supply chain? Like, so what's the end game? Like, everybody moves to Detroit and the factories open up?
No.
And my son, who's 13, thinks he's in a gang, apparently. I mean, you should see this guy.
He tattooed Flint on his arm.
Yeah, he's got Flint on his arm, and he only drinks
He's
chocolate
13.
milk and calls it water. It's insane. I don't like it. But like, what's so we all go back to so all the manufacturing comes back. And again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Is it bad to have American manufacturing? Real question: is it bad to have American manufacturing?
No, that kind of made me think what I'm saying. But so
my dad worked in a factory for a lot of years. They built shocks for cars. Now,
where at? In Nebraska?
Yeah, Nebraska. Tenneco Automotive. It was originally Monroe.
Oh, is it by Broken Bow?
We're not too far from Broken Bow. Shout out to Broken Bow.
Yeah, I know Nebraska.
I'm not going to say what your mascot is. What'd you say?
Nothing. My uncle also did factory work. He was a diesel fitter. That was back in Washington, like in Redmond. It's by Seattle. And his factory work.
Is that by Yelm?
It's
Washington?
not by Yelm. But it's a plant. There's all these conveyor belts, and he was a diesel fitter. Respective job back then.
Yeah.
It was for women's underwear, and they would come down, and he'd be at the end of it, and he'd hold them up.
Was it really for women's underwear?
Yeah. Yeah, and it would come down the thing, and he would hold them up and go, diesel fitter.
Hey, that's pretty funny, man. You had me.
I saw it as a setup.
I thought you were serious. I thought this was a serious show.
It's a serious show. It's a very serious show. But like, what's the point of bringing if we bring manufacturing back? The thing is, we have labor laws in this country which prevent me from having, my 11 and 13-year-old in a shop sewing soccer balls.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need 11 and 13-year-olds. Aren't there a lot of American laborers that work crappy jobs? It used to be if you worked as a diesel fitter or a shock manufacturer, it was a living. You could raise a family. You could buy a home.
That's why there was a minimum wage.
Vacation.
Now, if you talk to people about the minimum wage, and again, I'm going to talk crap, and Adam might not, but I will, about both the left and the right. So please don't say, "Whew, he eats Ted Cruz's ass at night." No, I'm just saying this. Like a lot of the right. God, what was I going to say?
I don't
keep
like
losing.
the right or the left.
I don't either. I hate them both.
I think they're both extremists, and ultimately people should do what benefits them and not be
the
assholes.
thing is this: everything is going up except wages, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have all
Sure.
the labor laws. Are you going to put somebody in a factory and China, who we get all of our stuff from,
China.
they pay their people dog shit. So
Yeah.
we're able to import cheap stuff. Say what you will about Trump. Everything's made in China. Oh, USA, we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back. Ties made in China. Everything he does is made in China, right?
The tie he wears is made in China.
If you buy a Trump tie on the internet, it's made in China.
I imagine if you buy an imitation Trump tie, it's made in China.
Yeah.
But I'm finding it. I bet it's made in Italy. Bet he
It's
wears
gotta
a
be.
nice
It's
Italian.
Egyptian cotton. Very nice. No, but like there's so many things in place for I understand let's tax the shit out of everyone else, right? But let's say this, like
Do they tax us?
let's say like Switzerland, right? Like we buy their chocolate or something, right?
Swiss chocolate.
Swiss chocolate.
Swiss
we buy their
Miss.
chocolate, there's a little bit of a tariff, right? How many Swiss people are buying fucking wind turbines made from the USA?
Why are we comparing wind turbines to Swiss chocolate?
Because we're trying to equal the balance. But if the balance is
The
equal,
amount of chocolate we're buying here from Switzerland
We're fat.
can only be equalized by selling wind turbines.
no, but I'm saying
I don't know what a wind turbine is, but it
I
sounds
don't even know
expensive.
if we make them here. But I'm saying if they're trying to equal things out, look, and you really want to know what it is? You really want to know what this is?
I need to know.
This tariff thing, it's a scam. It's a goddamn scam, Adam. And it's the biggest scam of our lifetime. You know when Elon Musk was up there with the
Scamgate.
chainsaw and he's like, the Social Security is the biggest scam of our lifetime. And I'm like, yeah, but like, what if my mom doesn't want to be homeless? And he's like, we got to go to Mars. And it's like, no, Mom, like, yeah, for a place to stay. We're going to terraform Mars. And it's like, fuck, these guys don't get it. This thing's a
They're
scam.
billionaires. Of course they don't get it.
The whole thing is a scam with the tariffs, right? Here's what we do. We take the economy and we shit all over it. Shit all over it. And
You got that EBE.
I could help.
That's a callback.
That's a callback. That's nice. This is one I've actually heard, so this isn't my own work, but I also have my own theories. You take the economy, you tank it, right? You're up there with your billionaire people, you tank the economy. And why would you tank the economy if you're the president? That's fucking crazy. You're a man of the people. The people that like Donald Trump, and I'm going to say this,
What are you going to say?
I think they're more allegiant to Donald Trump than the country.
I mean, I think that the people who really love Donald Trump don't even know what economy is. And I don't love Donald Trump, and I also don't know what economy
And you also
is.
don't hate Donald Trump, though.
I don't hate anybody.
Yeah. But
Love
so
all.
You're up there with your billionaire friends, right? And
I'd like that.
It's the inauguration. And your whole cabinet's sitting down in chairs like a bunch of fucking peasants. Who's on the stage with you? Who is on the stage with you? It's like the 7 or 8 richest people in the world. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it's all those rich motherfuckers. Bezos, Zuckerberg, who's now trying to be cool. Fucking Musk.
Zuckerberg's tough. I think he'd be a tough fight.
He beat my ass.
Yeah, he trains with
Delete
Izzy,
my profile.
and
I share my memes. Anyway,
that kind of fires me up.
they're having meetings. Okay, like the meetings that are going on with Trump, I don't think are happening in like a chamber of like Congress people or the Senate people. Pardon me, because I don't know the proper nomenclature. But there's behind the scenes meetings where they're like, hey, he respects money. The only thing he respects is money and power. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. So if you're the richest people there, you're in a room, what can we do? How can we edge these motherfuckers out? I got it. I start a Terror War. I tank the fucking economy, right? I bring the whole thing down. Everything drops. I'll tell you motherfuckers when. We all buy in. And I saw this. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, that fucking, she looks like the Cowardly Lion. She
Who
even
is that?
bought like $100,000 of shit. It tanks. Everybody Dump it in. You got 20 billion, you got 40 billion, you got 50 billion. Dump it in this motherfucker right now. I paused the tariffs for 90 days. Market's going good. Hey, then you sell. Boom. You make 7-8% on, let's say you dumped $1 million in, 10 million, 100 million.
Make a lot of money.
7-8% on that. I mean, and we're talking fucking boom. Everybody else goes bankrupt, but you and your little circle, you get money. I respect it. I don't like the fact that everyone's losing their ass.
I lost everything on this XRP.
It's coming back.
I mean,
it's coming back.
I thought we would be able to take advantage of a situation like that.
I have another conspiracy too, and this one's my own, and I haven't heard this anywhere else.
Okay. What do you got?
So there's no more middle class in America, right? We love America, but there's no more middle class. We have to understand that. There's poor and there's upper poor.
Now, is that, real quick, is that the entire country or is that just California? Because in California, there's no middle class. There's a lot of poor and there's a lot of rich.
I pay $4,200 in rent, and I'm poor.
Can we just establish that again? Steve pays $4,200 for rent.
And I'm poor.
I mean, obviously, if you're paying $4,200 for rent,
I work hard, but it's what it is now, and I'm getting a deal.
And that's a 1-bedroom apartment.
It is a 1-bedroom apartment off Crenshaw and Slauson. Okay.
If
I go out of my house after I've had my shit and there's blood all over the back of my pants, I will get shot. I can't explain to them my medical condition.
They might think you already were shot and give you a break, but. Also, every time you take a shit, there's blood seeping through your pants. It's EBE.
I believe so because people in other countries don't make as much, or not other countries, other states don't make as much as we do here in California, right? Like we're compensated well, but also we're fucked even well. So it's like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can. We're fucked.
Yeah,
there's no other. I don't know what to say.
There's a bigger piece of the pie, but they're also taking more. So Adam, you probably could relate more to this. You're being bent over, right? And someone's like putting a dollar in your hand, but there's just a line of people behind you just fucking, and everyone gets their turn, and you're just holding on to that dollar.
I'm clinching, baby.
And then when it's all over, nobody's taking the dollar from you. You still got it, right? You still got it. So you clean yourself up, you look yourself in the mirror.
I didn't like that analogy.
And you drive back to your place in North Hollywood.
I didn't like that. I mean, but it's how I feel.
Yeah, yeah. So we're paying $4,000. There's no more middle class. I think that's everywhere because a lot of people don't make as much as we do here. Like there's still some places where if you get tips, you make like $3 an hour.
Where I come from, the good life,
Nebraska.
Yeah, you get servers, which I just looked up the minimum wage. It's like it's up. It's more than I remembered. Like it's like $13. I feel like, but. When I started working, servers made like $2 an hour.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then tips. And people didn't tip
because they get
either.
tips. No. Oh, especially in Nebraska.
Oh, no.
You want a tip? I tell you what.
I got the power and ability to give discounts when I worked in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I used to give discounts to people just because they were from Nebraska, and so was I. And I started not telling the servers, but they'd come back to me all fired up because they said, hey, you gave those guys a discount? And I go, yeah, I did. They're from Nebraska. And he's like, well, they stiffed me. They didn't leave me a tip. Not only are they supposed to tip, they should tip off the original bill total.
You would think.
You would absolutely
That's
think. A respectable thing to do.
But they gave you a tip.
Oh, they gave me 50% tip.
Nice.
So I was okay with it.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's Hollywood, babe.
Hey, you'll find that in these bigger towns.
But so my conspiracy, to get back to it, is that because there's no more middle class. In my eyes, there's poor, there's upper poor. And then there's people with money, there's rich people, and there's stinky rich people, right?
Here, there's a lot of rich people.
There's a lot of rich people. There's a lot of there's a good amount of people with money. There's a fair amount of rich people, and there's a few stinky rich people. And stinky rich is very rich.
There's some stinky rich people.
The stinky rich people, in my idea, they are tired of the people with money. What do you do when you want to control someone? You have to You have to create the gap and you have to widen the gap, right? So,
Sure.
and this came to me because I was watching Dave Portnoy, who I like his pizza reviews.
He's
right?
stinky rich, right?
Dave Portnoy.
Or is he rich? No, he's just rich.
I think he's got money.
I mean, I think he's.
I mean, if we're talking like got
No.
money rich or stinky rich, I think he's in the got money category.
I mean, yeah.
But he was
hundreds
talking
of
about
millions.
the thing, and he's like, I lost $7 million in the last 2 days in the stock market. And he's going, oh, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And so that dawned on me. I'm like, what if, because in this society, there's such a big gap, but these people that got money that are going around, they're on TV, they're doing their thing, they're doing pizza reviews, they own businesses and whatnot.
Doing more pizza reviews.
But they got money, and so they're kind of getting influence because you get influence with the people, right? But that's not the real money. You know what I'm saying?
What's the real money?
Well, the real money is the people. The people that really have money, you won't see. You don't see those people. You know what I mean? But what I think is that they've eliminated the middle class, and now they're going to check off the people with money class. You need, in order to control the population, what you need to do, and this is my own crazy conspiracy, is you need to widen that gap to where it's don't have money and need you, and I'm the guy that you need. You know what I mean? So you can't have these people that are 3 steps down from you that have a few million in the bank that are going around on TV and they're swaying public opinion and they're kind of, you know, they're an asset to the culture or whatever. You can't have that anymore. You can't have that. So what do?
What do you do?
You know that they got a little skin in the game in the stock market. You tank that motherfucker. You tank that motherfucker and you wipe them out too. So now they'll be upper poor, and maybe now they're the new middle class. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how the tariffs work.
I don't have any idea what you just said for the last few minutes, but I'd like to be rich.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know how the tariffs work, but we get a lot of stuff from China, and if come back to school time, I'm paying $75 for a Chinese JanSport backpack, I'm going to lose it.
Don't buy Chinese JanSport. Get yourself a nice American-made backpack.
That's $70 too.
It doesn't
exist.
Very interesting.
But I'd rather pay 15.
Interesting. What if you were in that stinky rich category? What if you were and your friends were the ones that had, you know, what if you were at a dinner with your best friend and his wife and you're all good friends and
Go on.
you suggest investing the last little bit of money they have into a cryptocurrency, and
It was just you put
they lose everything.
To me, that was a significant amount you invested. But I did pitch a good thing. I called my financial advisor during
You
the
got
dinner.
scared because you realized I was going to lose everything.
No. It's going to pay off in the long run. I would tell you, because I've had to borrow money from Adam, I'd tell
Plenty
you
of
the
times.
fucking stupidest thing you could ever do is loan money to someone who borrows money off you.
Yeah, and he borrowed the money to pay for that meal later
You're
that
at a
night.
restaurant. You're paying for a guy's drinks. He's borrowed money off you in the past, and you're taking financial advice from him. That's why there's no middle class.
I'm dead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we just solved the problem.
That's exactly it. Also, with these tariffs too, what's going to happen to people who want to be homeowners? You know what I mean? Like,
You're talking to one of them.
but
A person who wants
no
to
one,
be
no
one.
one's going to have any money, and this is the thing that's fucked. And like with California, especially my rent, I pay $4,200 for rent, and people go, "You should just buy a house for that much, and then pay that much. Then you had to own the house. My mortgage is only $2,200. Yeah, you're fucking 70 years old. Your mortgage is $2,200. I get it, bro. I get it. You got in when the house was $300,000. I have parents. I know
It's
their
not
stories
that way
as well.
anymore.
It's not it.
It's
You want the house I live in is over $1 million.
yeah.
Every house is $1 million.
In the San Fernando Valley, the cheapest home would be $800,000, and that's for a piece of crap.
It's for a piece of crap. I don't.
20% down on that's $170,000.
Yeah.
We already established there's no middle class.
Buy a house for the you're paying someone else's mortgage. You're absolutely right, you dumb bitch. Can I borrow $140,000 so I could put a down payment on
It's
a house?
more. It's 170.
It's insane. Everything's out of control, and it's not going to get better. Mark my words, it's going to get worse before it gets worse. The State of the Union show.
It's the State of the Union show.
Not all doom and gloom. Adam, you rent a beautiful place in North Hollywood. But,
Sure.
I tried to hang out with you the other weekend, and you were saying you were doing a viewing, which I thought was dumb.
Sure. We're trying to be homeowners. We're trying to be in the market.
We make the same money.
Yeah,
like I'm 100% your boss.
I'm not paying $4,200 a month in rent.
So you can save money.
But I live in a bachelor, which means it's just a bathroom and a kitchen. So I'm paying $3,200 and saving Paquito Mas De Niro totalos months.
You pay $3,200 for that place?
No, I pay $2,200, one bedroom apartment.
God, if I paid $2,200 for a place, yeah.
It's a nice one bedroom, but also there's people who pay $2,200 for a mortgage on a home, and I pay that for a one bedroom apartment.
I assume the owners of my house who can't have a dog because I get dogs all riled up.
My energy's bad.
I'm sure they pay like $2,200. You know what I mean?
They don't pay that. You pay if they even have a mortgage. You probably already paid it off in the few years you've been there. If they have a mortgage, you pay for that, and then they profit $2,200
I get it.
off.
I understand how the market works, Adam.
Which is all the more reason I got to get into a place. I mean, that's just it. Anyone who's doing that to a person, in my opinion, is just as bad as these billionaires that tank the stock market. Everyone's taking advantage of someone. I think once you get to a level of success, once you start making a certain amount of money, all you want to do is make more money. And if you don't care. I've looked at lots of houses now. They put a listing price. You know what I've come to learn? They don't want the list price.
They want over.
They want over it.
Yeah.
Well, if you want $850,000, why the hell don't you put that on there? You put $800,000. You know why they do that? Because they want more people who think they have an opportunity. No one has an opportunity to pay that much, but in theory, they want more people to assume it's a fair price and then tell you, oh, we've got another offer and it's over asking price, hoping you put an offer over asking price. And then that's still not good enough, and they get another offer over asking price. And they're just trying to make money. Do you go to open
houses? You went to one?
I've been to more than I've admitted to.
We don't talk every weekend.
I've been to fewer open houses than I've been to private tours with a real estate agent. I'm
trying to get what you're saying. Are you saying again? It's market manipulation.
It's market manipulation.
So they put it at $850, right? Knowing that people are like, "Fuck, that's so much," but they'll get 30 people to show up to an open house, so it creates a little blood in the water. So everybody.
It's all about money.
I never thought about
It's all about money. So let's say it's a condo or a townhouse, 2 or 3 bedroom, $500,000. You're not going to get that for $500,000. You get excited too.
But there'll be 100 people there for $500,000, and there's blood in the water, and everyone's got the checkbook out.
A lot of times places won't even let you. Like you'll get a real estate agent, and you'll say, "Hey, can we go tour this house? Can we go early so that way we can get an offer in early and avoid anything?" And they'll say, "Actually, sorry, Charlie, we're only doing an open house on Saturday." Well, no, I get that, but maybe let me get in there before the open house so that way if I'm interested, I'll make an offer. No, they don't. They won't allow it because they want 50 people, and the only way they're going to get 50 people there is if they make the price fair, which means if you think you can afford something, there's 100 other people that think they can, and then they know it'll just drive the market up.
And then you're there on a Saturday saying,
"Yep,
I can't do a podcast on a Saturday, Steve.
Exactly.
We have to do it on a Friday night because I got to go to a house showing."
I thought
you're part of the problem.
Everyone's a problem, and I thought too. Like people are like, "Oh, sometimes people want a good young family to get into their home, someone to take care of it the way that they did. They built something, so they want the right person." That's bullshit. They want to create a bidding war. And they want as much money. And whether it's...
Yeah, I'm picturing Little House on the Prairie. Look, they're very simple people, and they just want someone to look after what they made.
Hey, Charlie, my name's Adam. I just, me and my wife, we respect your home. It's beautiful. We want to make it our home. We want to raise a family here. They don't care. They want more money than what they're asking
Oh, hey,
for.
Adam, how much money do you have?
Also, too,
I noticed that the Indian fella from Silicon Valley had a briefcase with 1.2 million in it. And you have a banker's note for 700,000. Why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
You were like, I identified with your story, like you said about the homestead and your family.
That's another thing. So there's weird levels of competition. You've got the 100 people that are just as bad off as you are that think they can actually afford a place.
Yeah, you're screwed.
And the place is shitty too. Like the quality of life's terrible, but it gets you into a home, you build equity.
Yeah.
However, when you go there, 50 of the people are people who might deserve that home and, work hard for it. The other 50 people have cash.
Oh yeah.
And
it was like that in Santa Cruz before I left.
All they're going to do is buy
Silicon Valley
put
was
money
booming.
into it and sell it for hundreds of thousands more than what these homeowners are selling it for.
That's why I said that, because before I moved from Santa Cruz, that was happening. It was the big this must have been 15 years ago. It was the big Silicon Rush, but Facebook, all that shit. All of those people that got their jobs up there would come down, and I had friends like you that had this delusion in their head that they could be a homeowner in this economy.
It's really a nightmare. I was going to say a dream. It's a nightmare.
And I don't know what you've been through, because we talk at work, we talk outside of work, we're friends, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like people that I actually hung out with and I liked in Santa Cruz, they had kids, we hung out with their families and stuff, but they would go to the bank, they would get pre-approved, they would have bank notes, they would go to these things and they'd be like, dude, some Indian guy who's like a chip importer or something for like chips in Silicon Valley, because Palo Alto and all those places were just over the hill in Santa Cruz, they would come down with briefcases of cash. So he'd be sitting there.
Nice cars.
You know what I mean? Like they'd be sitting there like at the open house, excited. Like, we got the pre-approval.
They think that there's a chance.
We got the pre-approval. We got the bank note. We have the thing. And there'd be some dude, and the house is like, $860,000. And the dude would be there with a briefcase like, yeah, it's 1.2 million cash. Small bands, hundreds. I don't care.
The house isn't even worth half of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I want it.
I'll be back in 6 months. I want the house. And then they leave.
House, it's empty.
And they end up, my friend ends up fucking, jumping off the cliff on Westcliff.
Absolutely. I'm seconds away from doing that.
Yeah.
Jumping off a cliff. I didn't understand this world, but now I do. Now, and that kind of, these people are terrible. Just the way Trump and his rich friends are terrible, tanking the economy so that they can make more money. Homeowners are...
Biden was great. I mean, he sent bajillions of dollars to the Ukraine so that Hunter Biden could get $50,000 a month as an energy consultant. We don't like either of them.
They're all bad.
God damn it.
They're all bad.
You didn't like Kendrick Lamar. You're a Republican, right? Can you just not like both sides? Here's what I want to know, Adam, and I'm sorry to switch things up. Why do I have to pay money for a planet I was born on?
You didn't choose to be born on Earth.
I didn't choose to be born on Earth. I was born here, and I have to pay to exist here? Who the fuck thought of that?
I didn't choose to exist here either. Why am I paying tariff prices?
You know what? I don't like your attitude, Adam. You're about to get a 35% tariff on that couch. I'm getting fired up. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. I have to pee really bad.
That fires me up.
Don't worry. And welcome back to the I Am Fired Up show. We had to take a little bit of a break there. Adam was getting a little bit fired up about the housing market.
God, I'm fired up about the housing market.
It's lame.
It's the worst.
We're going to continue with our State of the Union, which is the state of the country. And it's the I Am Fired Up show. Let's talk about what people are fired up about. At least on my Facebook and Instagram, which my son also told me, nobody uses Facebook anymore, Dad. That's cringe. And I'm like, well, I use Facebook because I share memes. I'm like...
You're also super cringe.
I'm like the
That's
neighborhood
pretty funny, man.
meme lord. God, that didn't sound cringe, did it?
You sound so cringe.
Yeah, well, he says Facebook is Instagram for old people. But anyway,
Is
believe-
Instagram cool?
That's where it's all happening, baby. I downloaded the Snapchat and to mostly watch my son, but I get all these weird things, and I think it's filters, but it's like,
Yeah.
hey Steve, check this out, and I'm like, whoa, I got a wife, lady, and I click it, but it's a filter. You know
It's
what I mean?
weird that all the videos that pop up on my Instagram are like girls.
Your
Dancing.
FYP page or whatever. When you click home, it's a lot of like the muscular women or whatever. I noticed that have like really thin, thongy things, big butts, but they're muscular. But there's like a bulge in the front, and I think that
This is mine
Yours.
specifically, or
the ones
everybody's?
what you've showed me. And I think because the fitness chicks you watch are on testosterone, and what that does is it takes their clitoris and makes it into a penis. So that's what you're watching.
I mean, I've looked up. I've seen some chicks that are jacked, man. They have to be
Yeah,
on
they're
testosterone.
weightlifters. And
You did a little weightlifting recently.
Yeah. I've got back in the gym a little bit. You know,
I mean, you needed to.
I've recently got fat. I've noticed. So, yeah. But long story short, forget about that topic.
You're fat.
Getting fired up. A lot of my people, a lot of my friends in Washington State are fired up about the new Snow White movie, Adam.
What's going on with the Snow White movie? I've heard
You
some
know
things,
what it
but
is. Don't be one of those podcasts doing what's it about. You know all about the goddamn Snow White
I
movie.
don't
You've
know
probably seen
anything
it.
about it.
You've probably seen it. You
I know-
you at least admit to our audience that you know the controversy.
I know that did they use real little people in it?
Oh, well done. That was one of the controversies. What's another one you know?
I feel like I recall hearing or reading about like a miscast of Snow White.
What do you mean by miscast?
I don't know.
Come on, Adam. It's a podcast. Be honest with the people here.
All right. I don't want anybody saying, hey, this guy's racist or this guy likes Trump, because I hate everybody.
Yeah.
I heard that apparently, historically, Snow White is a Blanco mujer.
Yeah, pastier than you, and you're one of the pastiest people I know.
Y nuevo, eso, esta nuevo mujer
This new
who
woman
plays
who plays.
Snow White is a spicy Latina.
That was, yeah, people were fired up about that as well. So
She looks pretty white.
I thought she looked good. A lot of people really upset with her.
My wife's Latina, and I think she's
Yeah.
she's white.
I think the Snow White's Colombian too.
Really?
I think she is. Rachel Zegler, but nobody,
Zegler doesn't even sound like a Latina name.
she sounds 1930s German in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see what the issue is.
Hello, Zegler.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, Zegler. Yeah, not good, but
What's your opinion on it? What do you think?
and I only brought this up, you know, I made some notes. Adam had to take a shit during the break, so I made a little bit of notes.
No.
About the
No,
temperature
I
of
don't
the
do
country.
that.
This is a big one. But everybody's all fired up. So the issue that the imp, right, from Game of Thrones, that guy,
Yes,
Peter Dinklage, he was all fired up.
Fan of the show, by the way. Hey,
Yeah.
Pete.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
He was all fired up because they call them dwarves. So Disney made them like 7 wacky magical people or something. I don't know.
Snow White and the 7 Little People.
The right called them like woke transgender. I don't know what the hell the right called them, but they didn't like them. They wanted the dwarves back because the right always wants it to be like 1950s America.
They don't like change.
They don't like change. And then,
Unless
but
it's
the
more
other
change
thing
in their
they couldn't
pocket.
deal with was that she's not white. She's like a Latina. And like I could get past both those things.
I think
like,
you're gonna say
all
I
right,
get it.
yeah, no. We don't have dwarves and Snow White's has a different skin complexion. Not that big of a deal. But I think what the problem was, from what I've seen, I watch a lot of internet movies, as I already touched on.
Sure.
Some of them are informative.
Some of them are
was
adult
that
themed.
the lady couldn't shut the hell up. And I think that's a good quality to have as a person, is to know when to shut the fuck up. Like, not everybody has that.
What lady wouldn't shut up?
Rachel Zegler, I believe, because she gave
Oh,
interviews.
she talked after the movie? Like
she
the press tour or whatever?
Press, you know, Adam.
I don't. I know
you-
as much about this as I know about tariffs.
Then I know.
I know more about tariffs.
Yeah, then I know a lot more than I should. My wife hates it because I do. I've been following this thing.
You've been talking to me about Snow White for a while now.
I want to watch it.
He just
fired
lost
up.
his fidget toy, and he's absolutely
fidget
panicking
spinner?
internally right now.
Yeah, I've been following it because it's interesting. It's a piece of our what's what I'm looking for, cultural. It's a piece of our culture.
Pop
right now.
culture, popular. It's popular.
Sure.
It's something.
But it just taps into the fabric of our society right now. We're gonna redo Snow White, Disney's first cartoon. That's great. Yeah, but we're not gonna have dwarves. Okay, I can get past that. Snow White's Latina. Ting! Hold on now. You're not gonna do that. Pull at the wool over
Wait
my
one
eyes.
goddamn minute here.
Deb, get my glasses. I think they made a Latinx person the Snow White. Bring him over here. So but I still think people could have got over that she's giving these press conferences and saying that she's basically hating on Snow White, which I think was the firestorm. Was that she was saying that the original
actor-
one was creepy. They're gonna cut out the guy scenes. She doesn't need to fall in love with the prince. It's about being a strong, independent leader. And it just depends on what you look at, right? You really don't know anything about this?
I'm like,
It goes deep. So
yeah, I don't know.
Gal Gadot is the evil bitch lady, right?
I thought she was Wonder Woman.
Is she?
She is Wonder Woman.
She's cool. She's no Dua Lipa.
She got her star on the Walk of Fame recently, and she's Israeli, and there was a bunch of
Protesters.
protesters outside there.
That's perfect because like she's Israeli. She was in the IDF, right? And Rachel Ziegler is this younger chick who's pro-Palestinian.
Oh,
So
really?
Yeah, and they're in the movie and they're doing press tours. And I
don't think Gal Gadot is.
Gal Gadot is Israeli.
Yeah,
They're the ones like
think she's had some
she's
issues.
free
with
Palestine. So I don't have any skin in the game, so I don't give. I want everyone to be happy. I would like everyone to be dancing at a festival and enjoying their time together. I know
Sure.
it's not possible, but whatever. But I think that was one of the big controversies was that, and again, it depends on the news station you listen to. If you listen to like the right-wing stations, they're talking about Rachel Ziegler and Snow White. They're like, oh, she's pro-Hamas. You know, if you watch the movie, the dwarves are lighting themselves on fire and screaming "Free Palestine" in front of the Capitol, and it's like, wait,
Is that in the director's cut or is that in
I don't
the
know.
theatrical release?
The left and Gal Gadot, like, yeah, Snow White's being a bitch. So her and the IDF come in with the Mossad and they get one of those Ginsu bombs and it drops on Snow White's car. I don't really know what's going on.
It sounds like it's the most intelligent, subtextual movie of our time.
It could be. It's just I don't know which side to believe anymore. But I know everybody's fired up over it, and I want to watch it. And she posted herself in the theater watching it by herself, and she's like, eh.
I don't know anything, but I know that like a year or so ago, I said like, oh, we're allies with Israel. I like Israelis, and
Yeah, I've got a lot of it.
and I got in trouble for it.
Yeah,
For being too political and
can't have an opinion.
not like being aware enough. And I thought that was kind of odd.
You're no longer allowed to be outside the box and like look into it, right? And be like, whoa, this situation's crazy. You got to be in there with someone going, which side are you on?
You have to choose sides.
You have to choose sides.
You're either right or you're left. You can't be in the middle.
You cannot be in the middle, and you can't say, fuck this whole thing is fake and it's a scam. You can't say that. You can't say that because then you're a traitor on both sides. Which is, I think, the Trump thing, like, it's weird because you have to bend the knee to him, right? You can't be like, I love the country. And they're like, well, what have you done for the country? And you're like, oh, I gave like 10 years of military service, and I did this and this and this and this and this. Yeah, well, there was a vote in Congress last week, and you voted against it. And you're like, well, yeah, it was to cut, like, my grandpa needed the knee surgery, and it was to cut his Medicare. And they're like, and you voted against it. And you're like, yeah, my grandpa. And then it doesn't matter what the fuck you did. You have to pick a side. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter what your grandpa is going through.
Yeah, get a new knee, you old bitch. That's what they say.
Dude, I wonder whose grandpa would win in a fight, mine or yours.
Dude, my grandpa would... How old's your grandpa?
I have one living grandpa.
Yeah, mine all died when I was young because I'm older than you. And he was a farmer from Missouri, and I promise you...
You're significantly older than me. But your grandpa,
my grandpa was
not a farmer from Missouri.
A farmer from Missouri. Shafter, Missouri.
One of my grandpas.
And my other grandpa, don't get me started on him. We wouldn't even be talking about you right now.
Oh, yeah. Tell the viewers what your other grandpa did. I think he was in the war.
He was in World War II. Absolutely. That's another story for another time.
What side
but
did he
so the
fight
Snow
on?
White thing, to change the subject real quick and away from that, is that some people are saying she's a DEI hire for Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Which is another thing. Right? It's a State of the Union. So now they're getting rid of that, which they're saying is, and these are all weird subjects that piss everybody off. But if we're doing a State of the Union podcast, we have to tackle things that are going on in our union, the greatest country on the planet, China. I mean, America.
Don't you say that. China can't even, they're not allowed to like watch movies and use internet freely.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong with China. Love China.
Absolutely you do.
Love the
Can
food.
we sound clip that later? Love China. He had a Chinese flag on his car for a long time.
I absolutely had a Chinese flag on my car for a long time. Unbeknownst to me, it actually, when I found out and peeled the tape off, it ruined the paint on my car. But that's another conversation. Yeah, everyone's got their problems.
Yeah.
China's an old country.
China's an old country. And I think with the Snow White thing, it goes on to a bigger issue with a lot of the rednecks, a lot of my family. I mean, if you look at me.
You're red and you've got a neck. A little one.
What is it about change that freaks people out, right? Like, they made the Little Mermaid black, and half the country couldn't deal with her. Right?
What's going on around here?
You can't live under the sea if you're black.
Mermaids are not black.
What's next? A Chinese mermaid?
I've never seen a mermaid in real life.
What are we arguing over anymore? You know what I mean? But there was that. Now there's Snow White. She's Latinx. I ain't never been to Peru, but I'll tell you what, neither Snow White.
Snow White ain't
Snow
from
White.
Latino America.
She lived in Mississippi.
Where does Snow White take place?
I would think New Jersey, based on the haircut and the attitude.
Yeah. Maybe they are Latino.
Because she was all right, but she had all those sisters that were just fucking horrible. Like, remember Big Ange on Mob Wives? Like, the doctor said, I'll die if I drink margaritas, but what he doesn't know is it's Friday. And she's making margaritas and died like 6 months later.
You're kind of the male version of Big Ange.
You don't even know who Big Ange is.
I don't need to know who Big Ange is to know that you're Big Ange.
I promise you one thing. I'm going to be very pissed off when you look her up.
I
How
did.
much is 7 fries?
Oh, my God.
What size? How many's in? Yeah, no, all bad. But
So there's a lot of division.
there's a lot of division. There's a lot of people not willing to grasp change, understand what's going on, but also, what's the where does it lead to? Like if you some of the most ignorant things that I read, like Snow White's Latinx. What's next? The Lion King starring the donkey from Shrek? What's going on here?
Hey,
this ain't my America. Like,
I'm kind of in agreement with that. Donkey as Mufasa?
At least Rafiki. He's funny.
Maybe Rafiki.
The easy answer is Pumbaa and Timon. Timon and Pumbaa.
101 Dalmatians.
Cruella de Vil. Couldn't do that anymore. Couldn't someone would come and fucking throw a can of tomato soup on a Da Vinci painting? It's wrong what she did to those dogs.
Imagine if
they weren't neutered. I saw 202 balls in that movie. None of them are neutered.
In a children's movie? I don't know if I like that. All I know is if they remake 101 Dalmatians and Cruella de Vil doesn't smoke ciggies, I'll lose my shit.
She has to. We know too many people that are Cruella de Vil.
Know a lot of Cruella de Vil.
We know a lot of people. But I think it's the inability to just move forward.
Yeah, people don't like change. Change is difficult. Although I will say adaptability and willingness to change is...
It's the only way to survive.
It's the only way.
Especially in this economy. The only thing you can do in this economy that we live in right now is constantly reinvent yourself to escape a state of homelessness.
If you were willing to change and reinvent yourself, you'd be very fat right now. But instead, you're in great shape. You took some time, a little therapy, diet change, and look at you now.
Hell, what's the temperature? Is it frozen? Are you being nice?
I'm being nice. I mean, you were really big.
I gained a lot of weight, but I fluctuate. I get nervous. I eat shit. Then I'm skinny, and I have no water in my body because it's all diarrhea.
I've never met anyone who has more diarrhea than you.
No. But as a society, if we don't change, how can we move forward? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that the Biden's policies necessarily moved us forward, because we can agree Biden was elected in what, 2020, right?
Yeah.
Because, Trump 2020. So Biden probably died in May of 2021. And then it was a guy in a skin suit or a reptilian overlord or something.
Yeah.
Nobody actually believes that was Joe Biden for the last 3 years.
No, that's why Jim Carrey went away for a little bit.
Yeah, he figured it out.
He was Joe
He
Biden.
saw through the shit. He probably went on one of those.
No, he played Joe Biden. It started as an SNL bit, and then he stopped doing movies because he was contracted by the government to...
Get ready for the... I knew you were a libtard. I recently got called a lib shit the other day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, what's going on with Trump? Like, what the fuck's he doing? Like, my XRP was at like $3.40. Now it's at like $2.05, which is when I told you to buy. Said it's not going to get lower than this.
It went down to over like
it went down to like
$1.60.
160.
I'm fired up.
But anyway, you should be able to call these things out when you see them and want genuine change. But in a system that's every man for themselves, you're going to get fucked when you don't have any skin in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now you can't get any skin in the game.
You can't get any skin in the game.
It's not possible.
But just buy a house. Just take out $140,000 from the bank, build the house, and you live in it. Like, bro, I'm like 2 weeks late on rent. Yeah. And you want me to have $140,000?
To just give up comfortably and never see it again?
Like,
and then have a $4,200 a month.
My mom has dementia, right? Years. And it's not funny, and I live with that. But she forgets that she goes to the bathroom, I think, because she will hit the bathroom every 6 or 7 minutes. So my toilet paper bill alone is a second rent.
Yeah,
it's just boom, 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 and she's gotten to this thing where she hoards the toilet paper too. So it's like 6 or 7 rolls a day. But why don't you just take out $140,000 and invest it in the Charmin Bears? They'll send you free. No one's coming to fucking save you. Nobody's coming to help you.
I'd recommend a bidet.
I have 2 bidets. My mom, she can't.
Now your water bill's out the roof.
She won't turn the knob. My water bill's out the roof.
Yeah, it's a real problem. And I don't think people think for themselves. You can't because you're too scared to. There's
got to be places in this world where we could go. And I'm not saying America's not the greatest country ever because we have the most opportunities. I could never make the money I'm making now anywhere else. Alternatively, nobody else would charge me $4,200 for rent, let me know I'm getting a deal. And then when I say, hey, I'd like my kids to grow up with a dog because I always grew up with a dog. And I don't feel comfortable changing my policy.
Man's best friend.
You feel comfortable taking $5,000 a month from me. But when I open my heart up and I say, hey, my kids would really like a dog, and there's this dog, Butters. I showed you Butters.
Yeah, Butters was cute.
Nicest little
and with
dog
the
ever.
amount of money you're paying in rent, they could replace the floors 10 times over if they're worried about.
You didn't replace shit when we moved in, lady. You know, a goddamn thing. You guys still got your shit in my garage, but I can't have a dog. You know what? I'm going to agree with Trump on this. We need Greenland.
Give me Greenland.
We got to go to Greenland.
My parents are going to Iceland.
Wait. Iceland is green and Greenland is ice. Right?
Yeah.
So why the fuck do we need Greenland?
Yeah. I think there's like black, sandy beaches in Iceland too.
Iceland's nice. It's got fjords and hot springs and shit.
Yeah.
But why are we getting Greenland then? Not to get back into geopolitics,
Greenland.
but why do we need that?
It's a good question.
Okay. Well, Adam apparently came prepared for the show.
I don't know anything about Iceland or Greenland. I don't even remember which one we're talking about.
We didn't have it. Yeah. Okay. Well, we
But
didn't
you
have
know
a layout
what?
for the show.
I'm willing to learn.
Well, I don't know either. That's why I'm asking you.
All right, move on. Next topic.
I was hoping the producer would pull something up. Okay.
Let's see. What else has us fired up right now? Everything's getting more expensive.
What else is going on in the State of the Union? While we're having a State of the Union episode, ICE. Let's talk about ICE. That'll get everybody fired up. They just deported a guy who has no criminal record. He was...
How does frozen water deport a guy?
God, that's a bad joke.
That's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, it's a really bad joke. That's pretty good, man. But the ICE came in and snatched up all these people from El Salvador, shipped them back, and there was a dude who was not a gang member here legally, doing everything right. They sent him back, and now they're like, we can't do anything. And the Supreme Court just ruled. You don't watch any news.
Every day I watch the news.
So you know about this.
Local news, primarily. Global news.
Oh,
no.
So what's going on with Bar 27 in Topanga Canyon?
I can tell you exactly what's happening.
I heard the swordfish is off the menu.
I will say, all I know I saw lots of interviews. This is weeks ago when this all started happening.
Yeah.
And there was one specifically with like a Chinese man, and he was talking about how he was so worried that ICE was going to get him. Yeah, he killed somebody in the other country, and he came here illegally to escape that. But he was super concerned. It was crazy.
He's being interviewed?
Yeah, he was 100% being interviewed. And he was worried about going back because of the crimes he committed in his country.
Yeah.
They were going to put him in
chipper.
prison for life. I mean, their version of that, which is a wood chipper.
It's a gulag.
Which was, I don't know, is interesting.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me that he got here and he's like, yeah, I don't want to go back. They're going to...
I think a lot of people do leave countries when they do something bad.
I just watched a guy. I watch a lot of internet videos, a lot of stupid shit too.
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Vitaly who's like a YouTuber.
Oh, I know Vitaly. I don't know.
You see what he just
news,
did?
But I know Vitaly.
He's over in the Philippines, and there's this new stream or the new genre of like crash out fucking street. They do IRL streaming, which is they just film
in
like
real life.
Yeah, they just film what they're doing, but they go into other countries and they're a fucking menace. So this guy's going around, he's stealing cops' hats, he's stealing their bikes, he's being a menace in public.
Can't do that.
In the Philippines, they got his ass. And they're perp walking him out. And they're like, we're going to make an example out of this guy. Like, you don't come here and be an asshole to us if you're fucking American or whatever. And it's like, of all the countries to do that to, the Philippines is the one that says, if you have like a nug of marijuana, like we're going to give you the firing squad. Remember that Duarte
tough.
guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was some other guy like Johnny Somali that did it in Japan, and he's like gonna go into Korean prison. It's a new thing where you go to another country as an American, You act like a complete piece of shit, like just the worst motherfucker there is, and you guys can Google it, and then you just be the biggest douchebag you can imagine, and people donate on the live stream or whatever. Now, you do that at work. Pisses me off because you don't even know you're doing it.
What am I doing? Nothing.
You're you, baby.
That WNBA player. She brought illegal drugs to Russia. Brittany Griner.
That was a big deal.
We traded
We traded one of the worst people ever.
A guy responsible for a lot of bad things.
That was your boy Joe Biden. That was your boy Biden, baby.
Because a woman brought illegal
Hunter Biden's in a hotel room
country
smoking crack with like 3 hookers. Like, Dad, can we trade like the biggest arms dealer on the planet for that one 8-foot tall basketball guy?
She's big. She's
huge.
Really big.
She's huge.
She's a good basketball player.
I think she's on testosterone too. Have you seen?
Has to be.
Have you seen her? Like, she has a shaved head now, and she's like,
yeah, she's.
This is my wife.
She's got a deeper voice than both of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but again, if it's illegal to do drugs in another country, and you do drugs there, I mean, they're gonna hold you accountable. Also, why did Hunter Biden get pardoned?
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time, baby.
Hey, we're tough but fair.
Hunter
now
Biden,
people are gonna think we're.
And now Trump's saying he's not gonna. Ooh! What do you think about Trump running for a 3rd term?
I mean, you can't do that.
Why not?
I thought it was only 2 terms for presidency.
Well, Steve Bannon recently did a show, and he was like, we're looking to, he's trying to dissect the Constitution. Like these people don't give a fuck about the Constitution, right? They're Republicans, Constitution. But, and sorry to anyone who's Republican or pro-Trump or whatever the fuck, or pro-Biden, whatever. We don't care. But like it's all about being on the winning team. If you haven't noticed, like, so he's like, well, it's 2 consecutive terms, so blah 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 blah. So we're gonna go for, and Trump's already talking about a 3rd term. So it's like the people who are so hell bent on the Constitution and America and the founding fathers and this great nation was founded on this and that, the next thing. But this guy's got a meme coin, and you know what I mean. He's taking again,
Steve
it's all
Bannon?
fake. It's all a fucking scam. No, Trump. But they're talking about he's running for a 3rd term. Now, as somebody who bends the knee to Trump, what do you think about that?
I don't bend the knee to Trump. I bend the knee to nobody. I just want to own a home. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. I'll support whoever.
I wonder what's going to happen in a few years with the economy. We're going to be paying $65 for a Chinese backpack for back to school shopping.
I mean, it's already $65 for a Chinese backpack. If Jansport's made in China, those are like $80 backpacks.
Yeah.
Everything's expensive. Everything's expensive. It doesn't matter where it's from. It's a lot of money.
I had a friend telling me the tariffs. He's like, the tariffs don't affect the economy directly. It's one of my buddies back in Washington, and I'm like, well, okay, but hear me out on this. If prices of goods go up and less people spend money because they can't afford it, and there's not many people buying things, if that's not economics, like, what is? Like, isn't the economy how many people are making money and spending money and recycling it? And so if that's not happening because nobody has fucking money to spend, what are we talking about here? You know?
You remember during the pandemic when everyone got all those like high unemployment checks? Just spent it right back in. My apartment alone bought more pairs of Jordans and
those pieces of shit you lived with?
I mean, they were pieces of shit, but it's just an example of all the pieces of shit out there.
Absolutely.
Give us money, we'll put it back into the economy.
We'll cycle it back.
Yeah, I think everything's expensive, and I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I'm not making any more money.
I don't have any answers.
No.
Well, Adam, is there anything else that's been going on in your life that you would like to share? I mean, we plan on doing just a couple quick 10-minute episodes, but we kind of State of the Union address.
State of the Union. No, nothing's going on other than I've been trying to buy a home.
You're trying to buy a home?
Not even, I've had to come to the conclusion that a single family residency without a homeowners association fee of $500 or more dollars. It just isn't. It's not financially possible.
Not here.
That's the thing too. I don't know. Do we live in a bubble in California?
But
Maybe there is a middle. Everyone shits on California. Maybe there is a middle class? It's just not here.
I'll tell you where we fucked up, and this is why I came to Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're a transplant.
I was born in Santa Cruz. Lived in Washington many years. Made my way back to Santa Cruz. I'm down in LA now.
Guy.
Absolutely. But the pie is so big here. The opportunity to make money is so big here. But Los Angeles, it's not uninhabitable. It's unreasonable. You have to treat this place like a casino. You need to go in, make your fucking money, and leave. Because if you don't, the house is going to win. It's unlivable.
Even Muskrat did that.
Everybody does that. Everybody,
and he's a billionaire.
Muskrat, yeah, Rogan, everybody.
Yeah,
does. It's not tax evasion because then you're not paying. They're paying. They're just. I hate to say it, they're being smart. They're saying, why am I going to live in California and LA when there's literally I walked 3 feet once I got to the gas station to go inside and get a Red Bull. Before I got here, there was a homeless guy on the corner violently shitting my face. Pants down. He's shitting everywhere. Someone's shooting up. They're overdosing on fentanyl. There's RVs on fire everywhere. And I was just getting gas, right? I come here. This podcast studio right now is probably significantly more than I pay. It's in a better neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, it's unlivable.
I've been to some poverty-stricken countries, and nothing's prepared me for those more than living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really pretty similar.
It's a beautiful dump. It's beautiful, and I love this place, and I've outgrown every city I've ever lived in, which has brought me here. But if you drive around, I guess if I paid $1,000 for rent, I drove around and I saw all these pieces of shit everywhere on drugs and stealing people's bikes and fucking wandering around and talking to themselves and shitting in the bush, I'd be like, eh. But when I'm paying $5,000 a month in rent, I'm like, why does that guy shit on the corner, right, and steal my son's bike?
You're paying that much just to allow someone to come. Also, if you defend yourself from that guy stealing your bicycle,
I absolutely would.
You'll go to jail, my friend.
No, because I had the crackhead hop my fence. I chased him out with a machete, and I told the cops if he would have ran at me and my family, this would have been a whole different call. With the machete in my hand.
You would have hit him with the machete blade end?
Absolutely. This guy was cracked out. My kids and wife are in the house, and he's tightrope walking on the fence. Like,
maybe hit him with the blunt end and knock him out.
So he can do it to somebody else? No.
You got to set an example.
Well,
you would have gone to jail for sure.
Not only did and I'm not. This isn't like I'm tough. Whatever. It's
You're
like,
not tough. No one thinks that.
I was eating breakfast. I'm looking out my window, and there's a crackhead on my fence. Like, when the cops came, and I told them, I was like, bro, yeah, I chased him down the street. I'm glad he ran that way, because if he would have ran towards me and my wife in a threatening manner, it would have been a different call. And they literally said, you would have done the right thing. You would have done the right thing.
They said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Police they're cool.
They're tired of it. I've worked so many music videos and shit where we close off streets in LA, and they talk about the bums. They hate them.
It's unhoused, please, Steven.
They hate them. I don't have an opinion on them. I do have a 5-point plan about bringing them to Death Valley, giving them a quarter acre, a canteen, a flashlight, and a tent, telling them best of luck. It's a different episode, but it's unlivable here. You have to treat LA like a casino. You get in, you make your fucking money, you get the hell out. All the smart, rich people have done it.
Smart.
They're down in Texas now where there's not as much taxes and shit. Probably just as many homeless. Austin's a dump. But
the money keeps people here longer, but if you get to a level where you can get the hell out of here,
and the money's leaving here too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The money's leaving here.
They don't even film movies here.
I had somebody tell me the other day, who shall remain nameless, that they're doing a ton of filming in New Jersey. They bought like a military thing or some shit.
A lot of the transplants, like Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, are advocating to film in places like Texas.
If I ever get money, I promise you one thing. You will get a postcard. And I'll be in Costa Rica. And it'll say, Dear Adam, please forget you ever met me, you piece of crap.
But then the Costa Rican government will be like, we don't want your kind here, and kick your ass out of here.
No. So I'll have money. I'll grease the wheel. Which will then they'll tell their friends to come get me at night.
You can get the
and
golden
then my
green
family will be
card.
ransomed.
The golden green card, right? Didn't
God.
Trump have, what was that about? If you pay $1 million and provide opportunities
Laws
for
don't matter.
American citizens, then you can come here. Oh, that fired Steve up.
I'm pissed.
Yeah, it's tough.
In closing, it's getting late. What do you think about...
It's 8 in the morning.
It's 8 in the morning. The Hawk Tuah girl stole everybody's money. You know about this? You have to know about something.
I don't know anything about...
It really pisses me off if you're being serious, because...
I know who the Hawk Tuah girl is.
Okay, what do you know about her?
Haley Welch, is that her name?
Yeah.
Here's what I know. She got internet famous overnight.
Yeah. Over a dick joke.
Really pushed. Interesting. World plant. Influencer plant, maybe.
Yeah.
Made tons of money. Created a following.
Okay.
And
started a podcast.
Even all the podcasters, all the successful influencers invited her on. I think they were trying to sleep with her. But anyway,
yeah, she's like 20 and blonde.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
You're telling me that's happening? But yeah, she advised people to invest in something. And it was a bad investment.
Yeah, she did a crypto scam and a rug pull. Did
she know it was a scam? Or was she Elvis Presley?
So, how does Elvis Presley tie in?
What I think is Elvis Presley, what a lot of people say, oh, Elvis was racist, or, he culturally appropriated.
We don't know
black
anybody
music.
that's a culture appropriationist.
No, not around us. But they all said that he stole music from black people. I think that he was a poor, dumb person from the South, surrounded by black culture, therefore was artistically influenced by black people.
Somebody saw him.
White media conglomerates and studio heads said, oh, hey, here's a white guy singing like black people. Let's take advantage of this and make him the most successful
Because back
artist.
at that time, black people are doing it. We can't deal with them because it's back then. They couldn't market
deal with them.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying back then that was their thought.
Yes, that was the thought.
But now there's a white guy who's doing what's cool.
So I think, yes, I thought Elvis was taken advantage of and exploited.
So you don't think Elvis was exploiting black culture and using it for his own personal gain?
I think the studio heads and the producers and everybody who brought him up as a poor Tupelo, Mississippi guy exploited him.
So you're a racist, cultural appropriation apologist. Victim advocate. I'm just kidding.
I don't apologize.
So no, I'm just kidding. I get what you're saying. So you think the Hawk Tuah girl was taken advantage of?
I don't know. I'm asking.
So from what I've seen, which I watched a lot of videos on her,
you know a lot about the Hawk Tuah girl.
I watch internet videos.
That's why your algorithm is the way it is. I get it now.
Whether she knew about it or not, there's been conflicting things on what she said. Some say she was going to get 10%, donate it to some thing about saving dogs. Others say that she came out, well, I'm supposed to get 50% of everything and blah, blah, blah. And long story short, whether you think she's just some like inbred girl from the South who I don't really know what's going on, but you know,
Tui.
Oh, y'all lost your life savings. Thanks for believing in me. Hawk Tuah. Dick joke. Spit on it. She's came back. So she's gone for a lot of months. She's came back.
She's back now.
If you look at her Instagram, yeah. She's back. She's on a vacation in London.
Oh, wow,
she's on a vacation across Europe with everybody's money, smiling, flipping off the camera.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's offensive on all senses. And you steal everyone's money and then you go gallivanting across the world, flipping off the camera. At what point does the Mossad take you out? At what point does Gal Gadot call a hit in on you?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it sounds similar. So she stole people's money.
she stole everyone billions of dollars.
She's capitalizing off of it.
She's gallivanting. She's scuttlebutting
Stock
around the
market
world.
crashed. Other people are getting
Doesn't
rich.
affect her. She's already pulled her money out. She got cash, baby.
Cash money.
It was a crypto pump and dump. She's got cash.
When will we get something like that?
You shouldn't have invested. I was drunk.
I
Sorry.
lost everything.
Yeah, I don't have any skin in the game.
In fact, I've mentioned being in the market to buy a home. We ended up falling $1,000 short after my $1,000 investment. So
yeah,
I hate you.
Well, that's State of the Union, everybody. The I Am Fired Up show. We're back. A little bit different in format. We didn't write jokes. We didn't do sports. It was
no. That's why I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either. We've just been sitting around 2 chairs in a room staring at each other, asking what's going on in the world. And so we're just trying to figure it out.
We attempted to make a music video. It failed.
It's a great music video.
Maybe we'll show you guys one day.
Also, the month we were gone, we tried to be musicians.
It's not as easy as we thought it would be.
It's not as easy as you thought. You need music. You need words.
Talent, apparently.
Dance moves. We did get a music video made. We should drop that on the next one. Although we were going to do it on this one as our big comeback. However, we thought it best that maybe somebody would watch it if we didn't.
Yeah.
But we'll throw it on the...
Yeah, you'll see it eventually.
I thought it was good.
Now I'm fired up.
Thank you guys for tuning in. For Adam Maskey, I'm Steve Phillips.